Hi there, my name's Howard Tinker and I want to welcome you to this month's newsletter. For those of you that have just joined us, this is the kind of thing that you're going to receive each month with tons of ideas and money-making tips. For those of you who joined us because you're coming to the event in Melbourne very soon, welcome along. This is the kind of thing that you're going to see at the event, lots and lots more like you're going to see today. Also, if you intended to book more than one person into the event, there is an availability now for you to add more seats to your bookings. Just click on the link, put your details in, add their names, and also remember the code that you used before, and they will be for free too. Okay, so something that's coming up really soon that you need to act on quickly to make the most of is the Melbourne Cup. It's one of those iconic events in Australia where lots of people go to pubs, hotels, restaurants, cafes, bars and so on and spend a couple of hours with you. It's one of the events that we always do well with in the hospitality industry, but there are lots of ways that you can improve upon the results that you are used to getting. The main thing that you need to do is build a database from these people that are already in your place. And if you don't know why you should build a database, well, we'll get to that later another time, and you'll learn a lot more about it at the event in Melbourne. But for now, just appreciate and understand that everything that we do is based upon you being able to market out from your venue, and the best way to do that is through a database. So for those of you who are already on board and you're building your databases, this is the way to use the Melbourne Cup so that you can make lots of profit from it all through the year. So first and foremost, you've got to be prepared. Now, normally you'd be prepared by making sure you've got plenty of staff on so they can look after the people that are coming through the place, but there's an extra layer of preparedness that you need to have, because you need to be able to collect people's data while they are in your venue for Melbourne Cup. One of the things that people do while Melbourne Cup's on is they're interested in winning things, they're interested in gambling. So a great way of doing this, of collecting data while they're in that mood, is to offer them a draw or a competition. And people are already in the mindset of getting involved in winning things, so they're much, much more likely to fill things in because they're already in that mindset. There was a great copywriter, award-winning copywriter called Robert Collier back in the last century, who talked about getting into the conversation that people were already having in their minds. And he basically meant that if somebody's already thinking about gambling or winning and you join that conversation by offering them something else that's along those lines, they're more likely to accept that as an offer that they will join in. So this fits perfectly with that. It's perfect from what Robert Collier taught us, and so I suggest that you think about some kind of draw or competition that people can go into, and make sure that you're generous with the prize so that people really want to go in. This is not a time to scrimp and save on things. This is a time to be generous so you can build your database, because this database is going to pay you back all through the next year and for years to come if you do it properly. Okay, so make sure that you have a competition. The other thing that you want to do not only is to give away the prize to the winner of the competition, what you can do after the event is you can give away runners-up prizes to everybody who enters. Now, why would you want to do this? Well, that's a repeat business strategy. That's something that you can then send out to them and say, hey, you won a second prize, so when you bring this email or this card in to the restaurant or to the venue, you get this runners-up prize. Now, people will respond to this, and it's a way of driving business in from that big group that you've got in through Melbourne Cup. And of course, because you collected the correct data, you're going to be able to market to them all through the year. But getting them all to come back in quickly is something that you really want to do. So offering a runners-up prize within a few days or a couple of weeks will get a lot of those people bouncing back in to spend money with you. So make sure that when you do your competition, put your data into your data entry system, whatever you use, make sure that it gets put in. It doesn't just get put in a bag or a box and left under a table somewhere. You really want to use that data that you've captured, put it into the system so you can mark it back out again. A different way of making money as well from the Melbourne Cup is to see if you can extend the amount of time that people will stay with you. Now, Starbucks created a whole business from this, getting people comfortable in their place to sit down, to spend time there, so they buy twice as many coffees, they buy muffins and things like that. So you have to start to think about that as well. You know, what is it that we can do to add value so people stay around longer? Now, last year, one of my clients actually had DJs start to play at 4 p.m. So for those people who didn't have to go back to work, people stayed around to listen to the DJ, maybe to do some dancing, do more drinking and chatting with their friends. So that was a way that they used in order to get people to stay around. Okay, so there's a few things to be prepared for Melbourne Cup. Collect a database. Start preparing now for that, so it's not something that you're running around at the last minute. Make sure that you enter the conversation in people's minds, so make sure that you key into that thing of them wanting to win things. So collecting a database through a competition is a great way to do it. Extend the time that people are going to stay around so that you increase the dollar spend while people are there, and make sure you do your data entry, get that database built so you can send out for a runners-up prize to get people back in straight away, and also so that you can market to them over the coming year. Okay, I hope that's useful for you. I know there's a lot to take in. Watch the video again, make some notes, put this to action, and I look forward to seeing you in Melbourne in a couple of weeks' time, and for you to understand many more things like this, and I'll take time to explain it. We've got a few hours together in Melbourne, so you'll see lots of examples of how these work, the kind of money you make. So I look forward to seeing you there, and if you're not coming along, I'll see you next month on a different video.